And this is a letter that I've gotten by my health insurance association. This is a governmental institute where I have my mandatory healthcare and social welfare account. And they've been writing me this letter. And here they are saying, hey, we have a 100 euro bonus for you, but we could not transfer this money to your bank account because we don't have your bank details yet. And I was like, how is this possible? Because I've been a company for more than 10 years. How come they don't have my bank account if I'm paying them money quarterly with my social welfare taxes? Also, sometimes when there's too much money in my social welfare account, they are paying the money back to my bank account. So they definitely have my bank account, right? And then they go on and say, to collect this money, you just have to insert your bank account information into the SVS Go app or onto the website of this institute. So I actually tried to log into the website and give them my bank account details, but then you will get an information that you will have to log on with your digital identity app. And that's something I don't have yet, right? So down here they are saying, you don't have an ID Austria yet? Then go to this governmental website and get your ID Austria. So yeah, the ID Austria is something that they are trying to lure us in right now. And also now they are starting to force us to use the digital identity. For example, here we got a case where a teacher, when a teacher is giving grades to students, they have to put it into the Socrates system. And formerly in the past it was enough to have a password to log into the Socrates website and give grades to students. But now they require to have a digital identity for the teachers, otherwise they cannot put in the grades for the students. But now a teacher said she doesn't want to use the digital identity because she doesn't trust the system because of various data protection concerns. And now the principal of this school is threatening the teacher with dismissal. That comes in a time where many teachers have a burnout, where we don't have enough of teachers, where a lot of teachers are quitting anyways. And that's of course really, really bad for the school system. Next, there was a really interesting documentary about the digital ID and how people are forced to use it on Servus TV, which is a Austrian TV station. And here they are saying in this video that the teacher is not the only case, but also now farmers, if they want to apply for subventions, they have to use the digital ID Austria. And, I've been an accountant for many years, and sometimes I was seeing the accountancy of farmers, and farmers really have the worst liquidity and they have the worst bank accounts, right? So before the harvest, I was seeing numbers like minus 200, 300, 500,000 euros on their bank accounts. And then comes the harvest, and then they have 20 grand on the bank account, and then there will be subventions. And actually it's those subventions which make a life as a farmer possible here in Europe. Because otherwise, with all of the cheap foods that are coming from abroad, you would not be able to compete as a farmer in Austria. So farmers are really relying on subventions. And now you have to have the digital ID Austria, otherwise you will not get subventions. But also they are saying there's still another way how you can get it. You have to inquire at the Austrian Chamber of Agriculture, and they can also get the subventions for you, but it will take much longer. It will be more complicated. So now a lot of farmers are getting the digital identity Austria because of convenience. And also the next problem is elderly people often don't have a smartphone, and they don't even know how to use a smartphone, right? So they still have cell phones. So how should they download this digital identity app? And the next thing is they want to make the digital identity mandatory to log into the Austrian financial institution. So I, as a company, I frequently have to check my finances and taxes with the government at this website. but then you will have to log in with your digital identity. So basically, they are slowly forcing the population to use the app, but first they tried with a €100 bonus. So yeah, why are they pushing the digital identity so fast right now? Well, the European Union has announced that they want to introduce the digital euro with fall 2025. So for the digital euro, the citizens need a digital identity, and this is why they want to quickly force people to download this app. Of course, with the digital money, there come a lot of risk. So the plan is that you have your money not with your bank account anymore, with your local bank, but instead you will have your money directly at the European Central Bank. And this digital euro is programmable. So they can say with your digital money, you cannot purchase, more than 5 kilograms of meat in a month. Or they can say, with this digital money, you can only purchase like 5 bottles of wine in a month, right? They can say, hey, this food has so much CO2 produced. So in an entire month, you can only purchase, how many kilos of CO2. And if you exceed that, you cannot purchase more meat, for example. Also, they can say, oh, you have traveled too much this year. So instead of going on holiday and flying 2 or 3 times a year, you can only fly like every second year. So with this digital money and the ability to control what you can purchase with it, this unfortunately enables a government overreach. That's what's going on right now with the digital ID. And I have to say, I'm really envious about the American people right now, because it seems as if, at least for a couple of years, you will have a break from this World Economic Forum plans. But now here in Europe, we are in a really dire situation. And I'm getting a lot of comments of people asking me why I'm not emigrating to the USA. Actually, that's something I wanted for a long time, but it's not so easy to migrate to the US legally, so it costs you a whole lot of money. I think 100K just to pay the legal fees for the lawyer and so on. So it's not so easy to migrate. And also, I'm not the only one who is making decisions in my family. And right now we have decided to stay here because it's convenient, migrating is not, it's very, how should I say, I can do it, but my 4-year-old son, it would be bad for him to rip him out of his life right now. And he has his friends here, he loves his kindergarten, he loves our house. So I just don't want to do this to him when he's so young. And also the schools here are still very good. So I'm hoping that he can still go to school here, maybe study here in Austria, and maybe in 20 years we are going to leave, but who knows? So that's the reasons why I haven't left Europe yet. But if I was single, alone, with no responsibilities, I would be gone already.
January 2026, every baby born in the US will get a digital ID at birth. Not just name and date. We're talking fingerprints, retina scan, even DNA. This ID will be required for school, hospitals, even phone apps. And parents, you don't get a choice, it's federal law. Some states say, no digital ID, no health insurance. Supporters call it protection. Critics call it control. So what do you think, child safety or a lifetime of surveillance? Comment below and follow before this becomes your reality.
Digital ID isn't about convenience. And all the while, our government, telling us it isn't mandatory, slowly closes the net to scoop in as many of the low-hanging fruit as possible. So currently, it's just a trap. It's like Hotel California. Once you arrive, you can't leave. Things like the one login to claim benefits, digital driving licenses, the right to rent and criminal records, all tied up and linked up. And yes, of course I see the benefit. I just don't trust it will ever be used for my benefit, particularly if I don't comply with what the government says.
Why exactly would we need a digital ID? I've never had the need for a digital ID. So what's it all about? It's obviously not about our convenience, because I have no issues as it is without such an ID. It's about government control. And if you link a digital ID to a digital currency, also controlled by the government, they have complete control over what you do, a bit like what happens in the Chinese social credit model. We need to resist this as hard as we can. It's extremely important. Don't give up. Together we can win this like we won on vaccine passports.